Just got this new camera, man, I got tired of using my phone. Phone's giving me too much issues. Phone kept overheating and all that. So yeah, we back on the map with it. Alright, let me see. Okay. Okay, cool, we got it. I gotta learn how to change the quality of it though. But yeah, let's get it though, man. You know, I wanna do a little quick little video. Man, I'm outside right now. And I'm just touch bases on, I don't know how this gonna sound though, cause all these kids making a loud noise in the background. Okay. I'll see how it sounds when I put it on the laptop, on the MacBook. Alright, so what's up everybody? Look, man, I wanted to make a little quick little short video today. I got a new camera, so you know I had to switch from using the phone. My phone kept heating up, you know, and it started glitching. So I had to just go ahead and get me a camera and get straight to it. But you know, I want to touch on, I really want to touch on trusting the process, you know, along your spiritual journey. You know, for those of you who don't know who I am, I go by Xhango. You know, it's spelled Xhango. For those who don't know how to pronounce it, it's pronounced Xhango. You know, but I go by Xhango the God. Let me see if we got that. We got a camera footage, right? Alright. Okay, so we all set. So basically, man, talking about trusting the process. You know, you gotta. Well, let me reintroduce myself again. My name is Xhango. I go by Xhango the God. But what I do, I help individuals along their spiritual journey, even those who they're not spiritual or into spirituality, but they still just need some form of guidance in life. You know, I help assist them in the best way I can with that. You know, but ultimately, my main thing and focus and my strength and passion is, like, you know, spirituality. So we're helping those, whether that be assisting them with finding answers, or anything in that nature, but more solely helping them to understand and showing them ways and how to go within. That's ultimately what it's about. It's about going within. You know, it's not about follow the leader. You know, and I say this because I'm not looking for nobody to just follow me. You know, my whole goal and mission is to help individuals learn how to tap into their own inner abilities so they don't have to be dependent on nobody. You know, and in a way I understand for some people it's good. You know, it's not wrong with having a form of dependency upon the individual, but I say don't solely put your 100% dependence on the individual, because we also make mistakes. We also have our own trials and errors and things like that. So, you know, you can't just look at someone and feel like, you know, they got all the answers, they know it all, and you can just fully just take every step with them as they take. You don't want to even live your life like that. Don't do that. You know, but ultimately, if the teachings that somebody is offering to you or assisting you with, if they're helping you along your journey, then, you know, you found the right teacher. You're in the right place. You know, but, you know, like I said, the goal, the main primary thing is to know thyself And in order to know thyself, you must learn how to trust and believe in yourself. You know, you start with there. Start with learning how to trust and believe in yourself. Then you can grow out of belief and learn how to know. You must know thyself. Because knowing and believing is two different things, you know. Excuse me, it's not the same thing, you know. It's a difference, you know. But yeah, so that's where we at with it. Now, getting into trust in the process, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you've been on your journey for a long time, whether you're just now learning about spirituality and you're just breaking away from religion or whatever that may be, or if you wasn't believing in nothing and now you found yourself feeling like it's something there, then, you know, you have to learn how to trust the process. And trusting the process isn't something easy. You know, it's not easy at all. But you know, excuse that. You know, the kids having fun at the park. So, but anyway, yeah. So you have to learn how to trust the process. You know, so spirituality isn't what most people may think. Is just like, ultimately it can lead to that, and that's one of the main objectives, if you want to say, is to find and obtain peace, tranquility, love, like innermost love, you know, illumination, enlightenment, those things. Like, that's there, that's a fact, that's factual, it's there. But starting off, just because if you decide like, okay, I want to be spiritual, I want to be spiritual now, all of a sudden, like, you're not going to guarantee just automatically reach those limits, because it takes time. It's a process, because you have to learn how to shed old layers of yourself. So whether that be old thought patterns, old habits, or anything like that that's preventing you from reaching the level of peace and love and tranquility and things like that. So that falls along with, you'll go through some trials and tribulations, you'll go through certain things. Sometimes it's an uphill thing, like things will be so good and, you know, it's so joyful and joyous, all that good stuff, but sometimes it's rocky. Sometimes things can seem like it's going just downhill. But you have to understand that no matter if things are going uphill or downhill, it's going that way for a reason. Just because things is going downhill, so to speak, doesn't mean it's going bad, doesn't mean it's bad. You know, it's almost like you'll go through a spiritual purge or a detox. You know, so in order for that to happen, things have to transpire in your life that may seem kind of chaotic. You know, for everybody, it's different levels to it. It may not be as intense and stuff as others, you know, but it all depends. Nobody can guarantee what your level of I'll say chaos will be in your life until you find order. But you have to understand, all things must be harmonized. Everything must be in harmony. So in order for you to find that state of peace, that state of balance, that enlightenment, illumination, you must go through the darkness, because out of darkness comes light. And through chaos, you find order. That's how harmony is restored, through balance. So, and we all understand that. You don't necessarily have to be a super spiritual person to understand that, because no matter who you are in life, you're going to go through that. You're going to go through the chaos and the order. You're going to go through the ups and the downs, things like that. Like, that's mandatory. If you're living on this plane, this planet Earth, this level of existence, you have to go through that. You know, so, but I'm here to help and guide, to the best of my ability, those individuals who are on this journey, because I know how lonely it can be on the journey. You know? But till next time, we'll get in with another video.